Brother lads, welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. This is going to happen in the summer of 2025, so he's going to be joining us in June. But practically, according to Sami Makpo and Fabrizio Romano, everything is practically done. Arsenal have agreed personal terms with the player, and we have also agreed to pay the 60 million euro release clause of Martin Zubimendi. It's been a roller coaster of news and tries and fails when it comes to Martin Zubimendi. We're going to be diving into the player himself, what he brings to the club. Why are Arsenal really looking into Martin Zubimendi? Why are we trying to sign Martin Zubimendi? We have had Jino wanting to leave in January. Obviously, Thomas Partey leaving in the summer is a big possibility. So what is really going on? Martin Zubimendi is going to be an Arsenal player. We are beating Liverpool, we are beating Manchester City, and we are beating a couple of other clubs as well. So first and foremost, let me know in the comment box below, do you like the signing of Martin Zubimendi? How do you rate it? Probably out of 10 or maybe out of 100, 60%, 70%. Let me know. Is it an average signing? Or is it a top-class signing in that position? Again, the DM market is very difficult. If you look at Partey, Lodri, and maybe Manuel Ugarte, you look at around and you're like, where exactly are we going to get another DM? I think Martin Zubimendi is such a very, very great talent. So what is the story? Let's start there. Sami Makpo has broken the story. He has confirmed that Arsenal have agreed a deal with Real Sociedad, but also with the players' camp to sign Martin Zubimendi in the summer of 2025. Now, of course, the midfield is something Arsenal would love to reinforce this January transfer window, but the January transfer window is a really, really difficult one. So what Arsenal have done, we have gone ahead of our competition and we have signed Martin Zubimendi. We have agreed a deal to sign Martin Zubimendi. He doesn't join us in January. He joins us in the summer. But nevertheless, the deal is pretty much done. Of course, he's got a release clause of 60 million euros. And basically, that really means that Arsenal are going to pay 51 million. And there is not a lot of negotiation we have done with Real Sociedad. Again, listen, anyone can trigger the release clause of Martin Zubimendi. So I don't think Arsenal have done a lot of work when it comes to club. When it comes to release clauses, it's between the club that wants to buy and the player. If you can convince the player that you're the right destination, if you can convince the player that you are the right project, then definitely you're gonna get him. Now, of course, we remember in the summer, Liverpool were a whisker away from signing Martin Zubimendi. They were very, very close to getting Martin Zubimendi. He had interest in the club and the project as well, but it all came very fast. And he said, listen, I'm going to take one more year at Real Sociedad, look at how things are going to go, and then in the future, I'm going to decide my future. I'll see in the summer. And that's what has happened. So it's a brilliant move from Arsenal. If Mikel Arteta really believes that Martin Zubimendi is the next big thing in our midfield. Listen, we're going to talk about Partey. We're going to talk about Rice. Why are we signing another DM? That is like, we have signed a fourth or fifth DM in a space of 4-5 years. Why are we doing this? We'll talk about all of that. But if Mikel really believes that Martin Zubimendi is the next big thing in his midfield and he wanted him desperately, then you go and get it done. And that's why I've always said Mikel Arteta doesn't have any excuses. This is a manager that has been backed through and through, 100% backed. Right. So let's get into Martin Zubimendi. I mean, the deal, apart from a few nitty-gritties, you don't have, you really don't have a lot when it comes to this deal. It's just, an agreement between the player and the club, Arsenal, on personal terms, and then also Arsenal agreeing to pay the release clause, which is 60 million euros. Now, this deal, for me, it's not guaranteed. And I'm going to tell you why it's not guaranteed. Because it depends on the word of the player. Arsenal are not going to trigger the player's release clause now. They have to trigger it in the summer. And that means that if another club, let's say Liverpool or Man City, come in with a much better offer, they can take Martin Zubimendi. The release clause remain the same. It will be 51 million, right? 60 million euros. So I think what Arsenal have just done here is we've got Martin Zubimendi to agree to us, to agree to our project before Liverpool come in, before Manchester City intensify their interest, and before any other club intensifies their interest as well, which is good. But why? Why? I mean, there is a sea of problems that we have as a club. Why have we decided to sign a DM first? We need a striker, we need a winger, we need attackers in this team. And again, if it came to midfield, one would argue that Arsenal need a creative midfielder more desperately than we need a defensive one. Why have we gone and signed a defensive midfielder? It's about 2 or 3 reasons. One, I think it's a trend now at Arsenal, right from Arsene Wenger. It's a trend that Arsenal will address a problem that is not biting and leave one that is biting. When you have a problem for scoring goals, when you're finding difficulty in scoring goals, how do you then go and complete a DM? Like, I'm not saying it's a bad signing, get me wrong, it's a very, very, very good deal. Martin Zubimendi, player in his prime, we saw it at the Euros, and he's been there at Real Sociedad for quite some time. He's a proven player. But what I'm asking myself, and what you should ask yourself too, how is a team that is desperate for a striker, for a winger, for an attacker, for an attacking midfielder, how have they, out of the blue, gone and did the Martin Zubimendi deal? For me, this is PR. Like, this is really, really, really PR. Arsenal know that they could have announced this in the summer. We could have, because listen, announcing personal terms agreed without triggering the release clause of the player, I mean, basically this could be done in the summer. We could announce this in the summer. But why this is being leaked now and why this is being announced today is because the manager and the team are out of excuses. We talked about the club not spending, that is out of the way. We talked about not having good enough players, that is out of the way. The managers talked about Carabao Cup balls flying. The managers talked about each and every excuse has come and gone. So they need a way of trying to divert the negativity and the anger in the fan base. And they've just gone, well, what do? Arsenal fans love a signing. How about we go and just announce Martin Zubimendi? I mean, we have agreed personal terms with the guy. Sami Makpo, you will do it. And Fabrizio Romano obviously will jump on it. It's worthless. It's a worthless piece of news in January. Absolutely worthless. Like, the condition in which we are, like with Manchester City signing Omar Mamouche for now, and PSG signing Kvaratskhelia Kvaratskhelia, and Liverpool were also in the race, and Kvaratskhelia Kvaratskhelia would have cost 67 million. Arsenal signing Martin Zubimendi for the summer and announcing it now, it's pure nonsense. Like, rubbish, useless. It's a facade. It's a facade. It's just to brainwash the fans, to make us think that the team is active and acting, yet it's not. Because honestly, there's no way you tell me that your team is active and acting positively when we are signing a guy that's going to come in the next 6 months. No, there is no way. So that is number one. I think the club are looking for ways, desperately looking for ways to calm the fan base. And it will work, because there's so many fans that are desperate for a signing, and they'll look at this signing and say, listen, Arsenal is making moves on the market. But for me, it's not working. That's number one. Number two, I think Jino and Partey are leaving. Yeah, Jino and Partey are leaving. And in that light, I think the proactive nature of this deal has got to be applauded. You've got to applaud it, because listen, Arsenal is a team that buys a defensive midfielder after 6 years of real damage. But this time, as Partey looks set to leave, we've not given him a new contract. That means he's gonna go. Jorginho, he's gonna go. So there is Merino there, there is Zinchenko there, who definitely for me should leave, and there is Rice there. So Martin Zubimendi has got to come in. He's younger than Partey and Jino, and I think he's such a weapon. He's such a weapon in midfield. So this tells you the people who love Thomas Partey, the people who have been absolutely, I would say, obsessed with Partey, this is the end of Thomas Partey. You don't sign a 60 million euro midfielder in DM with Declan Rice costing 100 million who plays in the same position, and then you keep Partey. It wouldn't make any sense, right? You can't bring in Merino just to replace Jorginho. Zubimendi just to replace Jino. So for me, it's clear as day. Martin Zubimendi is coming in to replace both Jorginho and Partey. Is that good enough? I don't know. I mean, we've got to watch these guys in the Premier League, honestly. Because remember Mikel Merino? We looked at the guy, I mean, his stance, his spins, the way he's controlling the midfield and the ball, and we said maybe he's going to be something. Diluted rubbish. He is absolute diluted rubbish. So with Martin Zubimendi, we know what he can do, right? We've seen him for Spain. We've seen him for Sociedad. But it's going to take some time. You don't just come in and, I'm done with hyping Arsenal signings. Like the last Arsenal signing that I think I hyped and it worked was, I even don't know, man. Maybe Declan Rice, but again, one season, and then he's having such an average season, right? So let's wait and see whether, Zubi is going to make it work. Let's wait and see. But at the moment, right, he comes in to replace Partey. He comes in to replace, Jorginho. So you've got to know that. Now, let's talk about Martin Zubimendi's qualities. Why him? And can he do the job that we want him to do? Physicality, I think that's a no for me. Physicality, that's a no. And I don't want anyone telling me, Busquets was not physical. Busquets never played in the Premier League. Never. Andrea Pirlo never played in the Premier League. They were fantastic on the ball. They were crazy tacticians. But they never played in the Premier League. The level of physicality in the Premier League is different. And I'm really, really intrigued to see whether we are going to have, at some point in time, we are going to have to say Martin Zubimendi is either short or not physical enough for the Premier League. So physically, this is not a guy I'm content with. I mean, if you gave me Aurelien Tchouameni, definitely, I would say the physicality of the Premier League reflected in his in his qualities. Zubimendi is a good DM, but physically he is not there. But what you like about him, and I know why Mikel Arteta likes him, he is a good caretaker of the ball. He is a very, very good custodian of the ball. And I think in that position where we are employing him, or deploying him actually, I think all the players that have tried to play there, we've played Jorginho there, we played Xhaka there, we played Rice there, all the players that have played there have one thing they lack: the ability to just have many touches. And I think that's what Rodri has, because he will touch and 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 touch. I think what Mikel Arteta is missing, because he wants to control games, he wants to dominate games, he wants to suffocate teams. He's missing that one guy that can just come in and suffocate teams. That one guy that can just come in and say, listen, we're going to have 100 touches with Martin Zubimendi. Whatever happens, we will not lose the ball. And his ball-winning skills, coupled with Declan Rice, fantastic. Really, really fantastic. So I can see the picture. I can see the qualities in Zubi. He's one of the best young DMs, or one of the best DMs right now, because like I said, he's entering his prime. But am I content? Guys, let me know in the comment section. Are you content with Zubi signing for Arsenal. And especially in January, because if this was a signing that had come in now, does it impact the team quickly? Doesn't. So for me, Arsenal have got to go. Okay, because Sami Makwa says Arsenal's next focus is going to be an attacker. We know that he likes Nico Williams, right? Why didn't we do this with Nico Williams? Because it would make a lot of sense, right? It would make a lot of sense. Go and agree personal terms with Nico Williams. After doing that, trigger the release clause in the summer. Yes, it is not now, it is not quick, but it makes sense. But for me, Martin Zubimendi, this is a deal Arsenal could have done during the due course of the season and accomplished it at the end. I think the announcement has come early just for us to, just for them to make us feel that the club is doing something. And they are doing something, but something that is impacting the team now? No, not really. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We are new here. Obviously, make sure you tune in 2 videos, strictly 2 videos every single day until we get to the first 5,000 subscribers. And then we'll do 3 videos in the summer. As simple as that. 3 videos in the summer, 2 videos every single day. Make sure you tune in. I'll be updating you. Of course, any breaking news, any breaking story, you know me, Kosi Arsenal, definitely, your, I would say, trusted source of reactions to news, right? So we'll see you soon.